Mercy the Mad here. Today we've got a follow-up video to the top 10 virtues and talents guide for Necromunda Underhive Wars. This video is going to show you how to get the virtues and talents that you want. So I'm going to explain basically how the game decides which virtues and talents to give you when you're rolling, leveling up your characters, and then also describe the system that I use to get the talents and virtues that I want on my characters. Now just a quick disclaimer, it's not quick, it's not easy. If you want to do this, you're going to have to spend hours, like probably literally hours, getting the traits and talents you want, unless you're very lucky. But at least if you follow this guide, you will be able to at least get one of the talents and virtues you want, rather than just kind of like keeping on rolling randomly forever and, potentially never getting it. First thing you want to do is get a spreadsheet like this one that lists all of the virtues and talents that it's possible to get. So there was a guide on Steam on the Steam guides that I got to initially make this list, but there's actually a few virtues and talents missing from the guide. So I filled it out now, so it's complete now as far as I can tell. There's about 20 to 21 different traits you can get in each section. And basically, this is the most important part of this guide that you need to understand when you're farming these traits. The way that it works is when you level up a character, this character is level 5. When this character starts getting more experience spent after level 5, there'll be a chance that it will get one of either a virtue, a vice, or a talent. And you only get one of these per level. So at some point during level 5, I'll get either a virtue, a vice, or a talent. At some point during level 6, we'll get one of the other two. And at some point during level 7, we'll get the one that we haven't got yet. Usually, unless you're really unlucky and you don't happen to get one until level 8 or something like that. But generally, you get them all like level 5, 6, and 7. You'll get your 3 virtues, vices, and talents. And each time it gives you one, it takes it from the list. So there's a pool. So this is the key bit to understand. So there's a pool for each one. So say we're looking for a virtue and we're trying to get calm. So calm's a really good virtue to get for a Goliath brawler, for example, with melee prowess. So just say we're farming for this particular virtue. Just say I level up this character and they get a virtue and they get confident, for example, then I'll put an X in this box, and that means that confidence no longer in the pool. So next time I roll a character who gets a virtue, they're going to get one of the other virtues from this list. They're not going to get confident because that no longer is in the pool. So there's a finite pool, and every time you get one of the virtues from that pool, that virtue is no longer in the pool until you've used up the entire pool, and then it starts again with a fresh pool. So for this spreadsheet that you can see here, I've already rolled at least 20 different characters, and I've gotten every virtue possible to get on one of those characters. And so then the pool was finished, and then a new pool starts. So just say I got, just say the first brawler that I rolled got calm. Then that means that it's impossible for me to get calm again for the next 20 brawlers after that, because there's 21. So yeah, there's 20. There's 20 virtues that you can possibly get. So there's 9. So once you've got calm if you rolled calm on your first brawler, say, if you were super lucky, then you wouldn't be able to get calm again at least until you'd rolled 19 more brawlers to get every other trait on this list. Then you'd be into the new pool, have a fresh pool, and you have an equal chance of getting any of the 20 virtues again. Maybe potentially you could roll another 19 brawlers and get calm as the last one in that second pool. So there's a finite pool. Once you've gotten the trait out of that pool, you can't get it again until you've gotten every single other trait in that pool. So at its most basic, the way to get the trait that you want, if you just want one particular trait, is just keep rolling characters until you get the trait that you want. So, you just go in here, your recruitment, choose a brawler, choose level 5 brawler, level him up, hire him, and then you just put some points into some skills. Doesn't really matter for this example, but normally you would have specific stat points allocations that you want to do. You just put all your points in here, and then you're going to get a bunch of virtues and vices, and then you just so we got alert, subdued, and death wish. So you just go into your list here, you tick off alert, subdued, and death wish. And then and you keep just doing that. You just roll another brawler, mark down what you get. You keep rolling until you get your virtue that you want. So if you're trying to get calm, you just kind of get that. So that's sort of like the basic way of getting the traits that you want. But it's not sort of optimal because you've got a pretty high chance of getting a good trait and a bad trait as well. So you could get calm as a virtue state, and then at the same time you could also get nervous. That gives you, so you get -5 cost of AP cost of reload weapon, and you get +5 AP cost of reload weapon, completely negating this awesome virtue that you were lucky enough to get. So you want to minimize the chances of that happening, obviously. So there is like a bit of a strategy that I use to kind of try to make sure you got the highest chance of getting a good character. So yes, the first thing you need is a copy of this spreadsheet. Either you can make your own by getting the list off of the Steam guide and filling it out yourself, or you're welcome to get a copy of mine. I'll put a link to my Discord down below. You can just go in there, and there's various spreadsheets on there that people have posted up, including mine. Then you want to set up your infamy in a certain particular way. So you want to get Training Ground. That gives you 30% reduced cost of hiring fighters, cheap skill upgrades and stat upgrades. Also, you want to make sure you get the upgraded Training Ground. So if you're starting a brand new gang, when you get the Training Ground, if you haven't hired any gangers in your gang, you won't get the upgraded Training Ground. So you're better off hiring some gangers, sell their equipment, buy another ganger if you can. And then the more kind of, if you keep like selling your gangers and buying new gangers, you should be able to get a better Training Ground. And then you also want to get Persistent Haggler, Dubious Contracts, and this skill also Contact Implant Surgeon, -75% cost to control memory wipe is also useful, just in case you want to kind of level up a character a little bit extra. You can sort of cheese it a bit by spending credits to wipe their memory and then buy cheap skills again to give them some extra levels without using as much XP. But yeah, that's not really that important. But anyway, you just you get those infamy options, set that up so that basically you're going to be able to buy you guys very cheap. So you need to have a lot of money. So if you want to check out my Infinite Money and Infamy guide, there's another video that explains in a bit more detail how to make infinite money. But you basically need to do that first because you're going to need a lot of money. So you can see I've already done it with this particular gang. I've got 124,000 credits there, and that means I can just keep buying brawlers, laying them off, buy another brawler, etc. Okay, so here I've got a gang already prepared for farming some virtues and talents. I've done the infinite money thing already. Got heaps of cash. I can roll lots of brawlers. So I'm going for a calm soldier brawler ideally, or at least I want to get calm. But even with this much money, you still want to be as efficient as possible. One, so you don't have to go back and make more money because this money will run out. And two, just to be efficient with your time and clicks because you're going to get RSI and waste a lot of time doing this. You're going to spend at least 2 hours, I'd say, just to get one character probably. So you have to you figure out your kind of template for how you're going to do it. So first thing you want to do is you want to always hire level 5 gangers, veteran gangers. Because if you've chosen the infamy choices that I suggested, that's going to be quite cheap. So it only cost me 385. And with the advanced Training Ground, because skill upgrades only cost 15 less and stat upgrades cost 10 less, so you can actually level them up a lot more. So a level 5, if you buy a level 5 character and you've got all the advanced infamy upgrades and everything, you'll actually get a level 7 character out of it by the time you level them up. There's no need to, and level 7 is high enough to unlock all of the traits and virtues, so you don't need to hire a level 8 guy like you might normally. And so you choose your veteran, and then you figure out what your preferred stats and stuff are for your ideal brawler. So I might want to have alert and athletic, observant, and disciplined, for example. And then you maybe don't want to have an injury. So if this guy has got an injury, then I might just straight away just get rid of him. So unfortunately, I have to hire him first to get rid of him to get that injury out of the pool. Then I just do another one, go straight for level 5 again. This one's got no injury, so we're good to go. And then I've already decided I want to get athletic, observant, and disciplined. You're going to have to do this multiple times, so you want to have this kind of down. And then you've also figured out what your optimal stats are that you want to get. So you need to get 12 in a lot of the stats that you need for various skills. So you might say I'm going to have 12 strength, 12 toughness, 12 willpower. I'm going to get maximum alertness. You get 12 melee prowess and 10 accuracy, and that's like your baseline for your stats that you want. And then you roll, and you're going to get some virtues and vices already because you're going to be above level 5. And then just say this character. So just say, yeah, so for this one, slow reflexes, -5 melee evasion. So that's a pretty good vice. It's not going to significantly impair my character's performance. I don't care about that one, so I'm going to continue on. If that vice was like nervous, the one that's going to completely ruin calm, the virtue I want, then I would just instantly reroll a character. But since that's not a bad vice, then I'll carry on and keep leveling up. So I already know what skills that I want to have on this character when they get to max level. So I just start taking some of the skills that they're going to end up having. You want to like learn off by heart all the skills that you want, so you can just quickly pop them in there. The good thing about skills is they only cost 10 XP, so they're quite cheap to get some levels. And killing spree, and we want to get exertion. And so now we've leveled up to level 6, and now we've got a possible, every time we do another, we spend XP, we've got a chance of getting another virtue, vice, or talent. So we can just go in here. There we go. Got a virtue, -5 AP cost of kneel. So we didn't get the virtue that we wanted. We wanted to get calm, so this character's bogus now. They're no use having them anymore. We may as well delete them. But you look at your traits over here. So we'll mark these off. So we've got cautious, and we've got slow reflexes. Okay, and then in the pull down the bottom here, we don't have soldier, which would be like one of the ideal best traits we could get with calm. So there's no chance we could get soldier on this character and like waste it because it's already gone. Lucky striker is still available. So this character, we might not want to keep rolling because we might get lucky striker. And then if your dream was to get calm plus lucky striker, you'll ruin that for yourself. So you might want to just delete this character at this point, so you don't have the potential of wasting lucky striker. And then when you roll a new character, you've still got calm in the pool. So as we're marking these off, calm's going to become more and more likely because there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So next roll, there's a 1 in 9 chance of getting calm, whereas at the start of this set, there was only a 1 in 20 chance of getting calm. So as you get kind of closer towards the end of a set, you can kind of have more chance of knowing what you're going to get. But basically, that's kind of how you want to play it. So if you get the trait you want, and if the other traits that you want are still available and they haven't been chosen, then you keep rolling. If you get a trait that you really don't want and your good traits are still available, then you stop rolling because you don't want to accidentally get a good trait and a bad trait that kind of make the character still one that you want to delete. Okay, so if you've been paying attention, you probably be figuring out that it's actually going to be quite a lot of hard work to get the traits you want. You're going to have to roll a lot of brawlers or deadeyes or whatever it is that you're trying to get before you're going to get the traits you want. But it actually is even worse than that because Necromunda being Necromunda, there's bugs, and there's bugs that affect this as well. So if we look at this gang, the spreadsheet for that gang that we were looking at before, that one's nicely followed the progression where we completely finished one set, then we started getting traits from the second set. Completely finished all the vices, then we started getting vices from a new pool. We completely finished all the talents, then we started to get talents from the new pool. And that's how it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, it bugs out sometimes. So this is another gang that I've been trying to get some good brawlers on, and you can see it sort of hasn't followed that thing at all. But it sort of it does still follow the same pattern. It's just that sometimes it bugs out. So what happened here was I didn't start with a fresh slate, so they'd already rolled some random ones that I hadn't recorded. So that kind of makes it more complicated as well. But then you'll also see that you know, we definitely haven't filled out all of this one, and then we've started getting ones in the third lot. So sometimes what happens is that you'll kind of like get a trait, but it bugs out and it doesn't count it as being used up out of the pool, or yeah, well, possibly even it can go the other way, and you can get traits go out of the pool on a character that you deleted and you didn't realize, or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but potentially there's something like when maybe if you level up but you don't actually get you don't get the virtue, but the virtue's already kind of been selected for you or something like that. And it sort of marks it off. So it can get out of whack, but even still, it'll still sort of basically follow it. So you can see like this one, it's it kind of like, oops, it kind of like basically filled it out, but then we started getting new ones. So potentially that could be because like this one here might have actually been in the second lot, and this one could have actually been in the second lot, and this one could have actually been in the second lot. So yeah, it kind of tricks you sometimes. So you have to there's a bit of an art to it. You got to kind of figure out where you actually are up to. But you may not get the bugs. Like some people don't get the bug at all, and it just perfectly follows the normal way. Other people like me, they get the bug fairly often, and yeah, you have to kind of guess whether you're still in the first pool or in the second pool or third pool. So yeah, so that's one problem. Another problem is that when you hire gangers, they quite often bug out and start off with no weapons, especially the brawlers. I'm not sure if it actually happens with other gangers, but I mainly want to make brawlers. But yeah, sometimes the brawler will come with no weapons, and they'll have no arm guards either, and you can't equip arm guards either. So basically, if you get a brawler like that, they're ruined, you know, so you may as well just delete them. If you get an injured one, you want to delete them straight away. So potentially you can have to, between the injuries and the bugs, you can potentially have to delete like hire and then lay off without leveling them up. Because if you level them up, they could use traits. So if you get a gimped one, you want to hire them and get rid of them straight away. Don't level them up. But potentially you might have to do that with like 8 or 9 characters before you'll get one that's not injured. You might find you'll have streaks of like 8 or 9 guys in a row that'll be injured, or they'll have the stat bug, or you'll have no weapon bug or something like that. But you do tend to get streaks as well. So, you know, if you're dedicated to do this, then don't get too demoralized. Eventually you'll get a streak where you get like 3 or 4 uninjured ones in a row or whatever, but it still can be very slow going to try to get a particular trait that you want. As you can see, I've done a bit of work on this already. I've only managed to get one calm brawler, but I've had other guys report that they got 2 they got 2 calm brawlers within a couple of hours, so you can get really lucky, I guess. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know, it's pretty kind of confusing maybe, but yeah, basically you just want to manage, you want to keep track of what you've got. As soon as you've got the good trait that you're going for, then you want to kind of like get rid of the pool as fast as possible. So if there's nothing left in the pools that you actually want, then you can accelerate things by hiring all of the damaged, wounded guys and just leveling them up, taking whatever traits you get, marking them down until you have cycled through the whole pool, and then you can potentially get a new calm brawler, and then you start being careful again. I don't know. It's not. I still feel like I haven't really explained it very clearly, but I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and hopefully it helps you out if you're willing to undertake the mission for the perfect calm soldier brawler, or the perfect lucky shooter Deadeye, Orlok Deadeye, or something like that. I've got some of the good traits kind of highlighted here. But yeah, like. One of my subscribers, Angry Bane, I think he's rolled over 2,000 brawlers, or maybe it's like 8,000 brawlers now he's rolled or something. Yeah, so he's got a calm soldier brawler, and I think he's got a lucky striker, calm lucky striker brawler or whatever. So eventually you do get them, but it's not easy, it's not quick, and you might be a little bit mad if you're planning on following this guide. But good luck to you. Thanks, guys.